Hi, I'm glad you dropped by. So today we're going to talk about that inner voice that we all have. And we're going to talk about it in relationship to getting a bad diagnosis, like cancer, which is what I'm talking about these days to you. So I can bring you on this journey and let you know how I'm feeling and how I'm doing all through this. And as I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the straight up goods and share everything with you. So it's called having an inner monologue, and you can look it up. It's all over the place on the internet if you want to find it. And whether it's good for you or bad for you is another thing. Because let's face it, we all have ways of needing to justify how we're going to get through this whole little ordeal. And hopefully, for some of you, it's a quick trip and it gets cured and you're better. For others, unfortunately, it's not that case. And as I said in my last video, my poor sister and her daughter both passed away with cancer. So it's been prevalent in our family and nothing that I really cherish having to deal with, especially because I know the turmoil it causes and I know the hardship it puts on people. So today, talking about this inner voice is something that's important to me. So, yes, you fall asleep at night or you're trying to fall asleep at night and the monologue kicks in. It's like, well, you have this kind of cancer and you have that kind of cancer. And well, very, very, very strangely, your mind goes on and on about, well, what's it going to be like? How am I going to be feeling in a couple of months? Right now, I'm not even sick. I don't feel sick. The CT scans all came back with, well, you have cancer here, 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 and here. It's like, okay, that's not good. Not looking forward to having to deal with that. So right away, my oncologist calls me after getting the results, and we set up an appointment for a month later, sadly. And then we set up more scans, PET scan to be exact, and we set up a biopsy date. Well, I have a whole month of, I guess I'm going to call it anguish in a way, because my wife and I are sitting here, and my daughter and my son are all going, what the hell? We need to get this dealt with right away. Like, this has to stop. You have to be okay. And that's awesome. And I'm really glad they feel that way about me. And I'm lucky, I guess, in a lot of ways. I have such a great support system. But the monologue's always there. It's always there. It's like, well, okay, if you don't have a long time, you're going to have a lot of planning to do, and you're going to have to get rid of a lot of things, and you have to, and on it goes. It goes so fast because you're like, well, I need to financially be okay. I need to make sure my wife's okay. I need to make sure that everything gets done in the house, and you're planning and your mind just starts rolling and rolling and you're trying to say, wow, stop. I mean, we don't know what's going on yet. Maybe this is all going to be stupidity because I'm going to have some miraculous cure tomorrow, or I'm going to get out of this. So how am I going to deal with it? I know everybody is on this journey. It's their journey. It's their own journey. I can't tell you you have to think like I do, because obviously that would be stupid. I'm not asking people to think how I'm thinking. I'm just looking for ways to impart information to everybody who may or may not be in a similar boat, or who's just interested in how I'm going to deal or get through this for the next couple of months. So that's how it goes today. My mind tries its best to get me going in every which direction when I'm sleeping, and I just continually calm myself down and say, look, deal with this logically and deal with it one step at a time. So as I'm falling asleep, I try quietening my mind down a bit by saying, it's okay. You can have your thoughts, you can deal with them, but don't let it ruin your sleep. Don't let it ruin your life. Don't let it take over. I mean, if all you do is sit there and dwell on this negative thing that's taking over your whole world, well, it's going to ruin you and your friends and your family. You need to be able to compartmentalize, I guess. And I think I used this in my last video. Try to keep it so that you can still function, enjoy the time you have with your family, especially before you get sick. I mean, if you have cancer and you're already sick, I know you're dealing with a lot. I know from my sister, I know from my niece, It's an enormous burden on everybody, and I'm sure it bothers you tremendously. I'm hoping that if I can keep myself very focused and very non-committal to this disease right now, that if and when the time comes that I'm going to end up not feeling well, because I know chemo is going to come up, and it's already come up in a topic of conversation. So I know chemo is coming, but I don't want to project down the road what that's going to look like, because there are so many different chemotherapies now. The type of cancer I have being lymphoma driven originally, and I'm not sure if that'll change with new diagnoses, but right now I do have a fairly substantial mass in my retroperitoneum, which is, I know, a weird word, and look it up. It's really something you'd never even think about. So the type of mass that is in your retroperitoneum is almost undetectable unless you get a CT scan, which I had a fluke one done, as I said in my very first video, because of another issue I had. And lo and behold, I had had one several years ago, and it was radiated only. Well, a new one came back, and this time 3 times the size. And now I have lymph nodes in several places that are abnormally large, which means typically lymphoma is residing there. And it looks like possibly some bone cancer. So, with all that, it's not that I'm afraid of it, it's I want to get it dealt with so I can go on with my life. And if my life isn't supposed to go on, well, then I'm going to have to deal with it. So, join me in my little journey. Hit like and subscribe if you're at all interested, or if you want to just keep following me, just keep following me. I'll let you know how things go. And this Friday is the big oncology meeting, so I'll let you know right afterwards how that's going and what direction it's going to take. In the meantime, I'm going to keep smiling, and I really hope you guys do too. So let me know how you're doing if you have cancer yourself, or if you're getting a diagnosis for cancer and you're nervous about it. Share your thoughts. You have so many friends out there. You have no idea. You have a great support system. And there's so many organizations you can join that'll help you with your cancer journey. So don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out to anybody you can, and rely on family and friends, because you know what? Without them, you're all by yourself, and that's not a great option. So guys, you take care. Ciao for now, and we'll talk soon. Bye now.